answered a question that hangs over his campaign. Why now run against your old boss, former President Donald Trump, a man that you once stood with? Here was part of his answer.
Donald Trump, who had a very diverse political background, supported Republicans and Democrats over the course of his life. He promised to govern as a conservative. And many people have told me that when they saw me selected as his vice president, they thought it was evidence of that. And I will tell you, Tammy, we did govern as conservatives. But I stand before you today because the former president and, frankly, others in this field are walking away from many of those principles.
I can see the disappointment on your face right now.
A terrible answer.
Why?
Mike Pence is one of the nicest men you've ever met. And if he keeps doing that, he's going to be the nicest man ever to come in 7th in Iowa and be out by the time of New Hampshire. I'm so disappointed to see that. Because what he needs to say is, because I'd be a better president than Donald Trump. That's what people want to hear. Why do you want to be president? Not some long answer about conservative principles and so forth. Mike is a dear man. He really is. He's one of the nicest, truest gentlemen you're ever going to meet. But you got to have a better answer to that question than that, because that's what everybody's asking.
What do you make of it that it came on the same day that, Mike Pence last night was sort of jabbing around the edges, right, but not throwing haymakers at Donald Trump, on the same day that Mitt Romney, we'll get into that, on the same day that Mitt Romney, who was the 2012 nominee for president for the Republicans, basically saying, the party's passed me.
That was an answer of somebody running for vice president, which is something that Mike Pence is never going to do again, right? This is, I'm okay with Donald Trump. He's sort of this, he's sort of that, but I could do it. He's not really conservative enough for me. That's not, if you want to be the president and take on Donald Trump, you have to go at him. And that was a very disappointing answer from my friend.
Look, Mike Pence was in a tough position last night in this regard. When you're featured at a town hall meeting, what you really want to do is talk about what you would do as president and focus on your positive agenda. But he's in this weird place where he's saying the Trump-Pence administration did all these wonderful things, so why are you running against the guy at the top of the ticket? And that's where he didn't come in and say, well, because, and say some of the things that he has actually often been saying throughout this campaign, the reasons why he believes the former president's unfit. You're not going to convince Republican primary voters that Donald Trump is not conservative enough for them. So you're going to have to give them a different compelling reason to leave him.
He's attacking Vivek Ramaswamy more than he's attacking Donald Trump.
Well, Donald Trump tried to kill him. Like, if someone tried to kill you, wouldn't you be a little afraid of attacking him on national TV?
I'd be pushing back.
Well,
I'd be pushing.
And I think at the same time, he's afraid of Donald Trump's base, which at one time was his base. And we're not seeing a lot of these other Republican candidates. I mean, Ron DeSantis to a certain extent, but I would argue he could probably go harder against Donald Trump. None of them are punching hard
He's harder against Mickey Mouse than he is against Donald Trump.
What do you make of this headline? Trump to ramp up Iowa campaign schedule in the coming weeks. There's been a bit of criticism that Donald Trump isn't running as hard in the 2024 race as he did back in 2016. There's been some criticism in Iowa, hey, get here. And now he's going to be there several times.
He's going to be there, and you're seeing DeSantis. I wouldn't say he's gaining traction as in he's the front runner in Iowa, but DeSantis' team have put a lot of stock in Iowa. He spent a lot of time there. He's doing the full Grassley tour of all 99 counties. So I think Donald Trump wants to, as soon as he can, see put the nail in Ron DeSantis' political coffin. But, I mean, look, Iowa's a state he lost in 2016. I don't think he'd necessarily want to lose it again, even though I don't think it's essential for him to get the nomination.
He better spend a lot of time in Iowa now, because his calendar is going to be a little full next year.
You're talking about the upcoming trials.
Caucuses are January 15th, so he'll have time after that.
There you go.
Plenty of time between now and then. All right.
Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.